What's up, YouTube? Today I have an amazing guest on the Talking Cards podcast. I have Chris, baseball card collector, investor, dealer in that order, which I think is quite important to say. Thank you so much for accepting the invite, my friend. This is a pleasure. You are one of my favorite content creators, and I know probably everyone knows about you on YouTube, but for my viewers that may not be aware of your channel, do just a quick presentation about your story in the community, in the hobby, maybe also in YouTube.
Yeah, no, thanks for having me on, man. I appreciate it. Yeah, my name's Chris Sewell. Baseball card collector, investor, dealer is my YouTube channel. I started the channel in 2020 during the pandemic, and I've been in the card hobby since 1988. I like to claim, which is true. I started collecting in '88, and collector, investor, dealer in that order refers to I started off as a collector. I was a pure collector a long time. Then I ultimately started investing, and then about 10 years ago, I became a full-time dealer. So,
okay, that's amazing. So basically, Chris, you know how the podcast works. I have 5 questions for you. We don't have to stay attached to them. They are basically entry points for the conversations. But I believe those are topics that you'll feel comfortable and you probably you talk about them in your channel. To be honest,
yeah.
so the first question, the first topic goes this way. The last 3-4 years in our hobby have been quite phenomenal. Let's be real. We have experienced many peaks in the market, but now it seems that everything is kind of back to normal, I would say. Do you think we'll see another surge in the future, or was 2020, 2021 one-off type of event?
Yeah, so it has been totally insane, and I was in the Netherlands for the majority of that time period during the big boom up, and then the subsequent fall. I'm now back in the States recently, but I would say I would guess that that's like a one-off in our lifetime, and we're not going to experience something like that again. That's just a guess. I mean, you never know, but it was sort of like a perfect storm of a whole bunch of things converging. I guess the pandemic being maybe the biggest, but all converging at once to create this like crazy boom, which I've never seen anything like that. I was in the hobby in the late 80s when the card market was crazy, but you never saw something like that. And then the drop over the last couple of years makes sense. I mean, that boom could not be sustained and it needed to correct itself. And yeah, I mean, I think it's been somewhat flat recently. Not it's still dropping, but generally flat. And I would guess that that's what the future looks like as a more flat hobby. But I don't know. But that would be my guess. What would be your guess on it?
Okay, I agree with you in general. I think there is a scenario that everything goes flat for a couple of years with some up and downs, not normal stuff. But I also think related specific with the soccer card market could be a bit different because in 2026 having the World Cup in America can actually be huge for our market. And I also think, yes, soccer has a huge explosion, but our potential is so great that again, this is a bullish take that I have about the soccer card market, but we can actually separate ourselves from the other card markets, if that makes sense. The potential is so tremendous in soccer. Recently, I'm not sure if you follow the Messi market, but the Messi market started doing quite well because of him playing in Inter Miami.
And he just showed up and took over the league.
Yeah, but that shows that a bit of awareness in America can actually impact a lot our market, and I think this will be a trend that again it will not be tomorrow, but in 2 years, 5 years, 10 years, I think it's possible that the soccer card market can actually go to a different level. I'm not saying, by the way, it will surpass baseball because the history is so rich in baseball.
Yeah.
But I think we basically can, distantiate ourselves from F1, UFC. I think we can go to a very special category almost. Not sure if you agree with this or not. I know you also like soccer, but what are your thoughts actually on this? Do you think the soccer card market have that potential, or a bit more pessimistic?
Well, no. So what I was my first response was kind of a response in relation to all sports card markets in general, but so specifically with the soccer market, I mean, the soccer market did the same. It went boom and then fall. I think the soccer market is a fascinating one, mainly because, well, for a couple of reasons. in the US, for my entire life, there's just been four sports that anyone cares about in the card market. It's just four: baseball, basketball, football, and hockey. That was the case right up to like 2019. I mean, most people probably didn't even know that there were soccer cards in 2019.
Exactly.
And then soccer has seen, saw this massive boom, and now soccer is a legit number 5 sport in the card. I mean, it's not like a distant fifth anymore. It's there. I mean, you could even it might even, I don't know what the numbers are, but it's right there with hockey, or it's right in the mix. Like it's a player. It's a real player in the American sports card market. And I don't know that I would like predict it to continue to go way up, but I do think it has a lot of upside compared to the other sports, meaning if things, you could very easily see a path where it does boom. It's the most watched sport in the world by far, right? I mean, there's a ton of untapped markets around the world that, soccer card manufacturers have not tapped into, a lot of potential growth. And yeah, the World Cup is a good point you made about being in the US. That I wonder, I was trying to think if the 94 World Cup had any impact on soccer cards. Probably not. There was a couple Upper Deck sets that came out around then, but I don't know if they did well back then, I'm saying. But it's a great point, actually. The World Cup could be a huge boost.
No, yeah, there is a couple of things for us, so at one point, I believe, especially American collectors, they try to put the soccer collectors in the same bag as F1, as MMA, etc., which I think is a bit unfair, because Panini is Panini because of soccer, so it's just unfair, because we created Panini at the end of the day. The amount of money they made with World Cup stickers is insane, and
still do. Right?
Yeah, and exactly. And the thing with soccer is, if you really think about, we have been a market for a long time, but not associated with money the way we do right now. But collectors in Europe for specific Panini stickers have been as older probably as baseball collectors, if you really think about it. So but if you look at F1, it's completely different. It is a new market. I know there is some vintage F1, but it's not comparable with football, with soccer. That's why I think we are in a different in a different level, to be honest with you. And there is another thing. For example, next year, Copa America will also be in America, which I think is quite important. Not as World Cup, but still important. Messi playing in Miami will already be there. So again, and if you look at the American team, I mean, it's quite a good team nowadays. It's not like it was 10 years ago. Of course, does not compete with teams like Argentina, Brazil, etc.
Or Portugal.
Or even Portugal, yeah. You guys end up winning against us in 2014 at the World Cup? So
no, we tied 2-2, right? Wasn't that a 2-2?
Yeah, it was a tie, yeah, actually.
But Ronaldo got a last-second cross, or long cross for a last-second goal to tie it.
Yeah. Look, you know soccer more than me.
That actually game is a great memory. If I can quickly tell a quick story about it, because I'm a huge USA soccer fan. Like I don't follow a whole lot about soccer, but I really follow the World Cup, and I love when both the men and the women, and I get really, really into it. And I was at a bar watching that game, and when Jermaine Jones scored the I think Portugal scored first, and they were up 1-0, and Portugal was like a heavy favorite to win that game. And then Jermaine Jones, who's like the sort of a non-relevant player, just sort of out of nowhere scores a goal from 20 yards out, or
it was such a great goal.
It was like I had just taken a bite of my hamburger, and when it went, like, I spit the whole thing out, and then it spilled all over, and then water spilled all over my plate, and I just jumped up and started screaming. It was a cool moment, but ultimately it was a 2-2 tie.
And you probably remember this, but even recently in the Humans football, you guys played against us, Portugal, and you guys eliminated Portugal in the World Cup.
Oh, yeah.
But last minute, we sent the ball to... it's not a crossbar, to post. No, I don't know the word in English, but you get the point. Basically, we almost scored. But yeah. Female soccer is actually growing a lot in Portugal also. I know in America, you guys have one of the best teams. But in Portugal, it is also growing quite a lot. And just to finish this, Chris, one story that I tell on my YouTube channel quite a lot is I'm from Portugal, and I remember starting in the market late 2019, early 2020. And in Portugal, no one was talking about the value of the Cristiano Ronaldo rookie because this is the place where you find them. But nowadays, it's completely different stuff. Look, the Cristiano Ronaldo rookie sales appeared on TV. So it's just the awareness is completely different. Even Europe is growing a lot. So that's why I'm such a big believer in the soccer card market, because it's the European market. Asians, look, high-end soccer right now in China is doing super, super well, and the demand is crazy there also. Again, I'm bullish. I totally admit that. But our market, our market is really, really special.
Are there so I was in the Netherlands and for 5 years, and there were the occasional card show in like Germany or Belgium. The Netherlands had a couple. Dave & Adams, which is a major card distributor, opened up a location in the Netherlands, which was a pretty big one. And then there was even like the occasional card store. There's one in Germany that was massive. In Portugal? How is it? Do you have shows or stores, or what's the?
I believe, but to be fair, this is something I have to do some research. That there will be a show in Lisbon in the next couple of months, but I don't know a lot about. I just saw some rumors. But in terms of card shops, we actually have a good amount, but for TCGs, Magic the Gathering, Pokemon. Yeah. Magic the Gathering, for example, have been very popular since the 90s in Portugal, and some of the best players that ever played the game are actually Portuguese. Márcio Carvalho being one name. So there is some culture around the TCG specific Magic the Gathering in my city, and my city is a fairly small city. At one point, we had 3 stores, so quite a big deal.
But so it's like Magic the Gathering and Pokemon Focus, but they're branching into sports cards or soccer cards, I imagine, mostly, or basketball maybe.
No, basketball no, but basketball no, but soccer, yeah. And to be fair, collecting soccer, that's why I was trying to explain at the beginning. Always have been a thing, I always remember with my dad buying Panini stickers, even some Panini cards, but we never attached them to money. They are basically something that you collect and that's it. You may resell just to buy another pack, but not more than that. Grading, for example, it was something totally new for European collectors. But the act of collecting, no, it was already here, but we never connected with money. We also never had, for example, numbered cards, because I think numbered cards automatically educate you that potentially there is some value associated if a card is limited to. But for example, right now, if you go to a local shop, you can buy Match Attacks, and Match Attacks is still a product for kids. That's the reality. But they already put autographs. They already put numbered cards inside of the packs.
Something there's autographs in Match Attacks now.
Yeah, something that they never did in the past. So. You can see a shift already in place, but it takes time, and I think that's normal.
Yeah, no, I mean, no question. There's room for growth for sure.
Yeah. Chris, the question number 2, I also think is an interesting one. You are a very experienced collector. If you could travel back in time today, what advice would you give to your younger self? But this one, I thought this was a broad question. Let's say, try to go back in time to 2019 when things started getting quite crazy. What will be the best advice you could give yourself?
Well, that's sort of cheating, right? Because like if in 2019 what's going to happen, you would just you just take every dollar you could possibly get, buy whatever.
Okay, that's true.
You can just buy Messi cards and retire 2 years later.
That's true, yeah.
But so actually, I thought about that question. So I'm actually technically not much of a collector today. I have a collector's mentality, and my favorite thing is to buy collections and play with them. So I'm like a collector in that sense, but I don't actually keep a lot of cards anymore. As I've sort of transitioned from a collector to a dealer over the course of my life. Actually, the thing I thought about this question before we jumped on. The thing I would actually do is go back and tell my younger self to consider becoming a dealer earlier. Like,
Okay.
I would have, looking back, I wish I had become a dealer like right out of college, and just that made that my life, as opposed to trying other things for 15 years and then, or 10, 15 years, and then ultimately landing back on cards as a career.
No, makes sense. So,
Yeah.
do you think when you are a bit younger, you had this conflict in yourself of a collector versus a dealer, and right now you are much more comfortable being a dealer, basically?
Yeah, no, I was a pure collector, zero dealing for, I'm going to say 15 years at least. And I never even thought about selling cards. Yeah, like you said, maybe once in a while just to like free up some money to buy some other cards.
Yeah.
I didn't have that conflict at first. And yeah, at some point when I first decided to become a dealer, yeah, there's that conflict for sure, because you want to just keep everything because everything's cool. But at some point you've seen enough cards where it becomes easier and easier to unload cards, unless it's like it's something truly unique that you haven't seen before. So I'm sort of like past all that.
No, makes sense.
Better
No.
or worse, yeah.
No, great answer. Makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
The question number 3 is: in multiple videos, you have been speaking about soccer, and always in a very positive light. I appreciate that, actually. However, because the reality is, and there is no shots fired to anyone, but some American content creators, they dismiss soccer a bit. But others, like yourself, actually always talk in a very positive way. However, some of my viewers may not be fully aware of this. So what's your take in, I guess we already talked about this a bit, but what's your take on our market in the long run? And so actually we end up talking about pros, but you also, can you also see some problems that we face in the next, let's say, 5-10 years?
Well, so I'll just real quickly say I played soccer. I know you call it football. I played soccer my whole life, and I still play. Actually played in a game last night, men's league. Busted up my knee a little bit.
What position?
It's a 7-on-7 game on turf. I basically playing like defense.
Okay.
Yeah. So I've always loved soccer. And it's a beautiful sport, and it's an amazing sport, and there's a reason it's the most popular sport in the world. That's not a fluke. So I think, yeah, sort of already touched it in terms of like the card market. Like I said earlier, just there's a lot of upside. There's a lot of markets that are untapped. I mean, I lived in the Netherlands, and most people did not know about soccer cards at all, and they're all massive soccer fans. I mean, every single person there. I imagine it's like that in a number of countries in Europe, where there's just a ton of people who don't even know about it, but would totally love it if it was introduced to them, especially at a young age. In Asia, for sure. I mean, there's markets all over the world.
Exactly.
You could tap into it. You can't say that about baseball. I mean, where else are you going to expand to in with baseball or American football? There's just
baseball. I'm sorry. Baseball is also popular in Japan, right?
True. That's true. No, I mean, of course, there are places you can expand all these sports. I mean, Europe's growing, and American football is growing in Europe, but none of them touch the potential of soccer. So when I don't know, like I said earlier, I don't know that I would like predict that soccer is going to boom over the next 10 years, but I definitely think it's certainly possible. It's certainly in play, and I think it has like the most upside of any sport, like if to grow. Yeah. If that makes sense.
Hey guys, quick pause on this one. First of all, hope you are enjoying the video. If that's the case, do not forget to leave a like, but let me share with you 2 things. The first is I have a Patreon community that is growing super fast. I put a lot of content there. If you joined right now, you pay around $10, but you have access to more than 100 exclusive videos. It's an amazing place to learn about the soccer card market, and you also support the channel. Link below the video and also in the comments. The second thing is my Discord server. We are more than 1,000 members. I'm gonna say it again, 1,000 members. And it's an amazing community, an amazing place to interact with me, to interact with other collectors, to to learn and share about the soccer card market. Similar to Patreon, link will also be below the video. If $10 is a lot of money to you, don't feel pressure to join the Patreon. For me, it's not super relevant. Of course, I would love to see you there, but at least join the Discord. That's totally free and is an amazing place to learn about the soccer card market, like I said a couple of seconds ago. Now let's continue with this one, and I hope you have fun.
Yeah.
No, for sure. You end up touching in something that is related and not at the same time with this question. That, for example, baseball can grow in Japan, but actually basketball have been growing, and the NBA have been growing a lot in Portugal. A lot of my friends watch to, again, it takes time to connect things between collecting, liking the sport, etc. But there is also that the sport that I don't see anyone talking here in Europe, honestly, is baseball. To be honest with you,
no, there's none. I mean, all the shows I went to, again, I'm trying to think. I think I did a Belgium, a Germany, and a Netherlands show, or a couple of each.
Yeah,
it was soccer number one by far, and basketball was an easy number two.
Exactly.
And then there was a big drop to whatever would be third, which would have been probably American football. I don't know.
Yeah, I think American football basketball is in a different level versus NFL, to be honest. But I think American football is also getting some attention in Europe.
So basketball is not as big in Portugal, because I know it's getting big in like Spain. It's really big in Spain and Italy.
No. Okay, fun thing. Our league is not super popular, but NBA is actually. I know a lot of people that follow NBA. At one point, I also followed NBA, but plays very late. In Portugal, it's like 2 a.m. or 3 a.m. and that's difficult to watch. But actually, I actually like the sport a lot.
Yeah. Okay. Gotcha. Yeah.
Okay. Moving on to the question number 4. This is probably a complex question, but you always have great rants on your channel about this. What are the key elements that make a card or a set iconic for you to stand the test of time? So guys, quick pause on this one, but trust me, it's an important message. Recently, I became affiliated with PWCC, and I believe they are the best in the business. If you like to buy pre-modern and modern and even vintage, they are probably the best place you can find for the soccer card market. If you want to support the channel and you don't need to pay me anything, just click on the links I will leave below the video for PWCC, or you can even scan the QR code you are seeing on the screen. Apart from that, I will try to keep all the links updated. Instead of just sending you to PWCC direct, I will try from time to time to send you to a deal that I find quite amazing there. That said, let's continue this video, and I hope you have fun.
Yeah, no. So actually, this sort of touches on a potential negative of the soccer card market. Is that usually the iconic sets are the ones that have an iconic card in it, a key rookie of an all-time great. In baseball, it's 52 Topps, and in basketball, it's 86 Fleer, and this is what sort of drives the iconicness, and also like often the first top set or the first Fleer set in both examples I just gave. Soccer doesn't have the history of standard sets. When I say standard sets, the way Americans think of like a standard set, like 600 cards, of all the players in the league put out, and their cards with the stats on the back and things like this. It doesn't have a history of that until fairly recently. So that's one I think. So that's one potential sort of blockade to growth, but I wouldn't say a big blockade. But yeah, so iconic. I mean, I'm trying to think of the. I don't actually know the set the Messi rookie is in, the Mega Cracks, Panini Mega Cracks.
Panini Mega Cracks, yes.
Are there other notable cards in that set besides Messi?
There is another, I would say, big rookie, Sergio Ramos. He's one of the best defenders ever. But I get your point. Is a set that if you take the Messi card, is probably not relevant. I agree with that.
Yeah, I mean, I always said the 2014 Panini Prism World Cup set for an American audience could become iconic big time in the future.
Chris, sorry for interrupting. Actually, the most expensive Messi card is from the 2014 Prism. Is the gold out of 10. sold in Goldin for $500,000. PSA 10, I believe, was Pop 1 or Pop 2. I'm not sure, but it's an incredible card.
That's amazing. Was that recent? I mean, that's not that surprising, but
I'm not sure if it was 2021 or 2022. I actually believe it was 2022.
Okay. Yeah, no, I mean, all those rare parallels from that set are awesome. And the Messi Ronaldo is an amazing the World Cup matchups. I think there was a big sale. I think it was a gold, maybe of that. I don't remember, but maybe it was a 6-figure sale or something like that.
No, yeah, I believe the matchup card ended up going close to 100K at one point. And keep one thing in mind: we never saw the 1-of-1 for Messi on that set. And for Ronaldo, I don't know, but for Messi, I'm pretty sure.
There's a 1-of-1? I didn't even know there was a 1-of-1 parallel.
There is the gold out of 10. There is the power gold out of 5. And there is a 1-of-1. I believe is a black parallel, but that I'm not sure.
I didn't even know that. I thought it stopped at the gold. Oh, no, that's amazing. Wow, that's a record breaker if someone pulls that.
I saw Probstino on eBay doing a live actually on eBay talking about this the other day, and he believes that card could be a $1 million card in the future, specific because of China, honestly, because there is such a crazy demand coming from China. But the thing with China is they like modern. They don't like the mega crack stuff. They like numbered stuff, so they trust the rarity and shiny stuff.
Well, everyone likes shiny stuff.
But even in basketball, I think it's similar. They are big into the patches, autos for Kobe Bryant, etc. So it's actually interesting. But actually going back to the 2014 set, right now in our market, that's a grail set that we have, is 2014 Prism World Cup, because it's basically the set that started everything, is our first American big set. There was a couple of releases, even set, for example, 94, the World Cup, but a real big American set with parallels, with numbered cards, autos. Even though no on-card autos on that set, everything was still a sticker. Other set that is very popular, I believe actually saw you talking about this set in one of your videos when you are actually looking at cards to grade or already return. No, I'm not sure. But is the 2017 Topps Chrome.
And that was the next one I was going to say, yeah.
It's the first Topps Chrome, and people love that. Those two sets do very well. So in Topps Chrome, the red parallel is out of 10 and sold for, again, close to 100K for Messi. So impressive sale.
Mbappe is even more than in Messi, and that's Mbappe's rookie, or he has a 2016 select maybe.
There is a sticker on 2016. Is a Panini foot that ended up coming in, that was released in France, but is very popular. Is not pop. It's popular, but it's very common. Is what I mean to say. 2017 Topps Chrome is the card that people tend to. Is debatable because people also like Prism 2018 with France, but Topps Chrome is one of the rookies, one of the most important ones. I could be wrong on this, but I believe a red never sold for Mbappe. Only the top sale on that set is the orange out of 20. Exactly, out of 25. That sold for 50K or something. So the red could
for Mbappe?
Yeah, for Mbappe. So the red could be easily 100K.
I would think so. Yeah, those are literally the two sets I would answer if you said what are the future iconic soccer sets, because it's the first Panini set, it's the first Topps Chrome set. Those are the two big brands in the world for sports cards in general. Those are. I mean, I'm trying to think if it kind of depends on like who has licensing going forward. That might impact that, but yeah, those are actually the two. I long term hold a bunch of cards from those sets.
No, personally I think that's smart, because those are the two sets that people tend to like the most. One thing about those two sets, actually related with this question, I think they are so great. Well, first of all, because of the history. First Prism, first Chrome. But not only that, is that they are easy to understand. not a lot of parallels. I believe they are around 500 total numbered cards. Probably a Prism, I believe, is even less. Is like 400 numbered cards. And I find that so great. You have the gold, you have the green, you have the orange, the purple, the blue, the red. That's it.
Right. You can look on paper and you can learn it in 2 minutes and you've got it mastered. Whereas a set today, it's like, I don't remember if this Power Scope is at a $3.99 or
exactly.
$4.99.
No, I agree. That's so much. I mean, do we think Topps and Panini, I get they make that to make more packs, to make more money. I mean, it's logic. But I don't know. I think they should have some sets that are, easy to understand, very clear, very, very obvious as a collector to approach.
Totally agree. I would say yes to that if I was in the executive room.
And I'm also aware that soccer is not even the worst. Baseball probably.
Oh no, soccer's nowhere near the worst.
But we already complain a lot about this type of topics. There is actually a lot of talks about this.
Let me just say one quick funny comment, because I was at a show. This was in I want to say Belgium, and a guy had a lot of nice numbered soccer stuff from the early Prism sets, and then he also had a bunch of more modern ones where there's 100 parallels and they're numbered out of $2.99, and I was only going through the old ones, and he sort of noticed this, and so he comes up to me and he said something like, "I see you're going through the adults. I see you're going through the adult stuff, because this section over here, this is for kids. This is the adult stuff." So that was a funny way to approach it.
No, but it's true. I mean, it's crazy. Because the thing that some probably new people coming to our market or other sport, to be fair, is they look at cards number out of 199 and they think that's fine. That a card that I will be safe. Well, in reality, there is a bunch of other sets with a bunch of other 199s. And apart from that, there is a bunch of other crazy parallels that are competing against you. And all of a sudden, you are looking at a card that is in a pool of 5K or 10K other cards. And that's not that rare, and it's kind of tricky, honestly.
Yeah, no, very, very, very much so. Yeah, it's misleading too, right?
Yeah, it's misleading. Yeah, especially look, you or even me. We have been in this market. We are aware of this type of stuff. But if you are entering the market right now, you see a numbered card, you automatically assume it's a rare card. There is no way around.
Yeah, right.
So, Chris, the last question. I always ask this question to every guest I have in the podcast. It's your hot take / unpopular opinion about the hobby in general.
Okay. Well, yeah. So I'm gonna say that I'm gonna predict that in less than 5 years, eBay will no longer be the main online way to buy cards. I don't know if that's a hot take. Does that count?
Oh wow, no, I think that's a huge hot take. Why?
Okay, thanks. Yeah. I think I don't know if you've used any of the other platforms.
No, I use PWCC quite a lot.
PWCC or ComC.
Also ComC, yeah.
I mean, these are, I don't know, you don't get the deals you do on eBay with these, but they are such a better buying experience. I don't know if that's your experience. I mean, your card is instantly yours. Everything it's so smooth and easy, and the sorting features are so superior. You want to look at rookie cards from 2013 through 2018 that are numbered. There it is, and there's no exceptions. There's no fakes on any of these things. There's no the buying experience is just so superior on some of these websites to eBay. eBay just has problems all over the place, but people are so focused in on eBay that they won't move off of it. And there are benefits to eBay. The auctions, you do get a lot of deals if you search there, but I think over time these other platforms are going to surpass eBay as the leading way to buy cards online.
Okay,
that's my hot take.
No, I actually thought like that. I agree. I mean, like you said, the experience is so much better in ComC, in PWCC. Yeah. The fact that you buy a card, you automatically put the card in your vault
instantly, right? It's yours instantly, and they can't back out.
Yeah, and I sell a lot of stuff in PWCC, and my experience is great, honestly. I mean, from
Yeah.
time to time, there is a card that gets relisted. Oh, but in eBay, I sold, and honestly, this is not this isn't. I'm not saying bad about Probstein, but I sent a bunch of cards to Probstein 1 year ago. Oh my god, the amount of the ones that got relisted was a bit absurd, and I got crushed after that because if they are relisted, they probably go for less. But in PWCC, much smoother. At my experience, again, I also use ComC, and ComC I believe is quite underrated because the best offer you do on ComC a lot of time gets accepted. Prices are a bit smaller on ComC versus eBay when you go to the platform. So I totally agree with you, and more than agree with you, I hope you are correct because I also I also have a better experience in ComC. Goldin I don't have a lot of experience using to be honest, but PWCC and ComC I use quite a lot. So I agree, my friend.
Ah, cool. Yeah, I mean, as a seller on eBay, as a seller and buyer on eBay, there's just like an issue. There's just a random issue all the time. Like somebody doesn't pay, or somebody wants a return for a silly reason, or there's just issues on both ends. You buy a card and it's not the condition you stated, or it takes
Yeah.
2 weeks to get to you. There's just like all these issues, right? Whereas
No,
on
I dislike it, but yeah.
there's just none of this on ComC. You just click and it's yours. It's in your account, and you can do whatever you want. Sell it, have it shipped back to you. Same with PWCC. These two are the two leading ones at the moment for me, I believe. Golden, I've used Golden. They're behind in terms of the quality, the overall buying and selling experience. But I assume they're gonna catch up because they got a lot of money behind them.
No, even if you want to flip stuff, ComC is so great for that. I remember seeing a player that was getting quite popular, bought the cards really cheap. The next day I was selling them for double because he's instantly. Yeah,
on eBay, you gotta buy it, you gotta wait for it to be shipped, then you gotta relist
it's over. When you get the card, when you list the card, it's already over. And even if sells, there is a chance that the guy does not pay or something. Look, you don't have to convince me. I'm not the biggest eBay fan. I also like the platforms that we have in the market quite more.
And by the way, also for international purposes, right? I mean,
yes.
If being in the Netherlands, I basically couldn't buy on eBay because I'd buy a card for $50 and shipping would be $25, and it's like, well.
Do you know? Because actually, this is a topic that I don't follow a lot. Do you know if the eBay Vault is already in place, and if how is that working? I have no idea.
Yeah, it is, but there's some major limitations. I think you can only have cards $500 and up, graded cards. I think it might be $250 and up. Okay. And I had one card in there, and there was like all sorts of technical problems. Now they solved it, but I had to call customer service a few times. Anyway, I just sort of haven't used it after that much. So I don't really know how it's operating at the moment, but
no, makes sense. Chris, actually, I have an extra question for you, if I can.
Sure. Yeah.
So in our market, there is always a lot of debate. What's the best comparison for soccer cards? Some people believe the basketball market is what makes the most sense. I tend to disagree. I tend to believe baseball makes a lot of sense to compare with soccer because of the lineage, because of how important Panini was in the 60s, in the 50s. But I would love to know your opinion. If you had to compare soccer with or even hockey, I know it's more in Canada, right? But what do you think will be the best comparison to an American market?
Interesting. I almost feel like none. I almost feel like soccer is very unique in its way. I get what you're saying. You're saying sort of like baseball has the history with Topps and going way back, and soccer has that with Panini going way back and similar.
Exactly.
Yeah, I could see the parallel. But yeah, basketball doesn't really register with me, but I don't know that any of them really register. It's because soccer is so unique in the sense that it's really burst onto the scene in the last 5 years or 10, whatever you want to say, and it does have it has a history, but not in the same way. Like, again, there's not like there have never been standard sets put out every year by this, I mean, again, yeah, Panini, I guess does count in that sense, but um, I don't know. Off the top of my head, I would say none, but I guess baseball's as good as any.
The one of the reasons I also choose baseball and
Yeah.
see if my train of thought is correct is maybe I'm saying BS, by the way. But in basketball,
Yeah.
when you talk about all-time greats, you have, of course, Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, LeBron James. I know there is other greats in vintage, but I don't
Yeah.
see them as relevant. But in baseball, it's very different. I mean, there is a lot of all-time. Actually, most of the all-time greats are in vintage, and I think soccer is a bit similar with Maradona, Pelé. So basically, the vintage history is very rich in both sports. Soccer also have that, and I feel like basketball lacks that a bit. I could be wrong.
Well, so that let me ask you, because it's an interesting point. I think baseball destroys the other three major sports, basketball, football, and hockey, in terms of people's appreciation of the history of it. I don't know why that is, but people really appreciate the history of baseball
I
much
agree.
more than the history of basketball or the history of football. I mean, like vintage football, there's a lot of people don't even care or know anything. I'm talking American football. Whereas vintage baseball, like Babe Ruth and Mickey Mantle, these are all like legendary names.
Exactly.
So I don't know enough about soccer to be able to compare it that way. But how would you say, you're saying with soccer it's the same?
The most expensive card ever sold in soccer is a Pelé rookie. So you can automatically see that, of course. And Pelé is probably the player with the strongest market. Messi right now may be close, but the history in soccer. I mean, we have players that most Americans probably don't even know their names that sold for more than 100K. Puskás, there is a bunch of them. So the history, the vintage market, I actually can see a lot of connections with baseball that I don't see in basketball. I know because I watch some stuff on YouTube when I'm looking at cards. People specific talking about hockey, that hockey is also quite rich in terms of history, right?
People's appreciation for the history. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think soccer probably is a bit in the middle between baseball and hockey. But but again, this is just for fun, of course. There is no perfect comparison.
But how far back? Because that's another thing with baseball, is it doesn't like just go back to like the 70s or something. It goes back to like the 20s. And
soccer is exactly the same.
Okay.
Pre-war is a huge thing in soccer, and we had cards selling for more than 10K, 20K. Again, I know comparing with baseball, those numbers are rookie numbers, but for our market is quite impressive. I mean, since we are still fairly new, but pre-war is getting very, very, very popular, and there is so many stories related with the World War II that players could not play. There is actually a lot of amazing stories. There is a lot of amazing releases. And the thing that makes soccer for me more special even than baseball, I know this is a hot take, is the fact that cards are from different countries. You know, if you want, and this is a bit more modern, but if you want a Cristiano Ronaldo rookie, you have to find one here in Portugal because that's the only place they end up releasing. If you want a Pelé, Pelé is a bit different because Pelé have rookies all over. Pelé was basically the first major star in our sport. But if you really went, because people think Pelé rookies are 58, but in reality they are 57. But they are so rare that they don't even count almost. But those are from Brazil. So I think there is something beautiful about that. If you want a true Pelé rookie, in Brazil. If you want a Cristiano Ronaldo, in Portugal. If you want a Zlatan Ibrahimovic, in Sweden. So I don't know. I think it's cool.
That is cool. None other sport can claim that sort of thing.
Makes things a bit more complicated. That's the problem, you know. So if you want to learn the soccer card market in a deep way, it's
you gotta do your research.
It's not one set, you know. It's not okay. You learn the story of Tops, maybe Don Rosas or something, and you are good to go. Yeah. Not to be honest, I know baseball vintage is also quite complex, but the thing I say, and since you are a baseball collector, I think it's funny to share with you. I got in one of my also Q&A videos, if I had to collect one sport in America, what that sport would be. And this is an easy one for me. If I actually was born in America, 100% I would just collect baseball cards. Nothing close. I mean, because it's about the history. Cards for me is all about history, and I don't see the same. And baseball, I love your channel because you talk a good amount about baseball. But I even watch other channels that I don't collect baseball, but I like them to talk about the Hall of Famers, a set that is so rare that never appears. I love all of that stuff. So for me, baseball will be number one, 100%.
I love that you said that. Like the history of, to me, vintage cards. The history is the coolest. It's like a piece of history. I mean, it's like a piece of world history or American history or Portuguese history or whatever it is.
It's crazy. Cool. No, vintage. Look, I have a good amount of modern cards because, I mean, in soccer, you basically you have to do it since it's basically the product we get nowadays. But vintage is just different. I mean, I don't even know how to explain the history. Like you said, is what sells vintage for me.
Yeah, totally. I need to study up on my vintage soccer. I don't have enough. I have a little bit, and generally when I have a nice vintage soccer card, I put it in my I call it my long-term hold box. It's really my collection, but I'm claiming that it's an investment piece. But again, because I think that stuff has upside, like we've talked about.
No, I mean that's fantastic. Chris, thank you so much for accepting the invite once again. It was a pleasure to talk with you. Like I said at the beginning of the video, I love your channel, and having you on my podcast is something great. I mean, so thank you so much. If you have any final words, feel free.
No, I thanks for saying that. I appreciate it, and thanks for having me on. This was really fun.
Okay, thank you so much. My friends, don't forget to leave a like. See you guys next time. Bye. And that's everything for today, my friends. I really hope you end up enjoying this video. If that's the case, and I know I'm annoying with this, but do not forget to leave a like, helps tremendous. Also subscribe to the channel, take a look at all the links I leave below the video. I tend to leave surprises there, or even scan the QR code you are seeing on the screen. Bye.